ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं मवामहे कविं कवीना उपश्रवस्तों ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्दिविसीदसादनं श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रेवतु महासरस्वत्यै नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां विधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मिन् गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। देवीं वाचमजनयन्त देवाः तां विश्वरूपा पशवो वदन्ति सा नो मन्दिरेषु मूर्जन्त्वहाना धेनुर्वागस्मानुप्रतिष्ठितैतु व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकदादं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। शिवशक्तिसमारम्भां भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मश्रीनाथपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रीललितामहात्रिपुरसुन्दरी समेत श्रीचन्द्रमौळीश्वराय नमः। श्रीकाञ्चीकामकोटिपीठाधिपति श्रीशङ्कराचार्य श्रीचरणयोः प्रणामाः। So last time I think we ended up at third Mundaka, first Khanda, mantra 9. Good morning, Usha. I have shared the script for mantra number 10 of the first Khanda and mantra number 1 of the second Khanda in the morning.
Yes.
So let's take the first one. Yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati विशुद्धसत्त्वः कामयते यांश्च कामान् तं तं लोकं जयते तांश्च कामांस्तस्मादात्मज्ञम् अर्चयेद् भूतिकामः. So Vishuddha Sattva means the one of purified mind. Yam yam, whichever. Lokam means world. Manasa, with the mind. Samvibhati, desires. Yan, which. Cha, and. Kaman, enjoyments. Kamayate, wants to have. Tam tam, those. Lokam, worlds. Tan, those. Kaman, enjoyments. Cha, and. Jayate, wins. Tasmat, therefore. Bhuti kamaha, he who desires opulence. Opulence means you understand, right? Wealth. Yeah. Atmagyam, the knower of the Atman. He, verily, Archayet, should worship. So the meaning of this is whatever world the man of purified mind wishes for in his mind, whatever desirable objects he desires, he wins all those worlds and all those desirable objects. The key word is man of purified mind. Therefore, those who want material prosperity should worship these men of self-realization. So indirectly, what it means is, if let's say that you are only given these kind of philosophies and ideas, what to do, talk about lower state, higher state, Maya, pure Atma, transcend, you are not going to be able to get a direction. So you can also worship those who are realized souls, like Mahapariva. You can consider Mahapariva as a realized soul and start worshipping him. Even worshipping him itself will take you down this path. Or you can worship Sri Ramana Maharshi. And there are many more such realized souls. Pardon. Any doubt on this?
No, the thing is, when you say Lokam Manasa Samvidhati Vishuddhas Sattvaha, so that means when you're saying whenever, whichever world you are in, whatever the mind desires, you said something about purified mind. So how are you connecting to the realized souls worshipping
A,
that?
a person with the purified mind wins whatever he desires. So,
How did
a
you
person who
connect
is a
that?
self realized soul is the person with the purified mind. Right? So, you start worshipping the person with the purified soul,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, or a self realized soul,
Okay.
you will go down that path.
Okay.
Make sense? So, in the whole process, the realization of the self is a simultaneous fulfillment of the deepest aspirations together with all the desires, internal or external, unmanifested or manifested, subtle or gross of the individual. The state of sattva or absolute purity of the mind is not an individualistic experience but a universal one. Sattva is free from rajas and therefore the experiences of the individualities are denied in it. So, complete fulfillment of all the wishes is not possible except in the state of the universal being, except when you reach that pure Atman, right? So, whatever fulfillment you see as you progress towards that self realization is called Shuddha Sattva Anubhava. Go to the mantra number 1 of the next Khanda, second Khanda.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Ah,
You said Shuddha Sattva Anubhava was for what?
you don't, when you are down the path of worshipping the self realized soul or the man with the purified mind, you are progressing in that path, right? In the whole process, you are also clearing up all your disassociating yourself from all the desires and you're progressing. You are probably at 10%, they are all probably at 90%, somebody is already at the 100% level. But even in the course of this process, until you reach the self realization, you're not going to be achieving everything. They said that if you have a pure mind, you will win everything that you desire, right? Any world you can conquer. But when you are in that process, you're still not going to be able to conquer 100% of all you desire. It is not 100%. But that process of where sattva takes over rajas is called Shuddha Sattva Anubhava experiences. And in this keyword, Anu, is that you start moving away from the whole concept of experience is my experience.
Oh,
Your experiences turn to be universal experiences. What everybody will see, everybody is able to understand. It's no more this is how I see it and this is how you see it. We all will be able to see that same one thing as we are heading towards the search of pure Atman. Correct?
so you mean to say for the realized soul, everybody starts looking at them with the same? Are you saying that?
For the realized soul, they have reached the destination.
Yeah. So the others are
For
looking at
people like you and I, if you are on that path, down that path, your starting point is my experience, your experience. That I, Ahankara is still there and all that attachments there. Now, as you start detaching it, as you start progressing, that experience of my experience becomes the experience that all of us subscribe to. That I goes away.
okay.
That is when the I goes away, it becomes a Shuddha Sattva experience.
More like an observer.
Not an observer. You are moving towards realization.
Okay.
Like, for example, in a very, very crude way, if I have to explain to you, if I tell that this is the bottle, but each one of you see this as something different. As you are moving towards this path, this goal, your individual differences of my own experience will start vanishing, and all of you will start seeing the same thing.
Ah, okay, okay.
Make
Okay,
sense?
got it. Yes.
Slowly, that I will go away, the ahankara will go away. Now, let us go to the next. Savedai tat paramam brahmadham yatra vishwam nihitam bhati shubhram. Savedai tat paramam brahmadham yatra vishwam nihitam bhati shubhram. Upasate purusham ye ह्यकामास्ते शुक्रमे तदति वर्तन्ति धीराः. उपासते पुरुषं ये ह्यकामास्ते शुक्रमे तदति वर्तन्ति धीराः. Saha is referring to he, the knower of the Atman. Etat, this. Paramam means referring to the Supreme. Brahma, the Brahman. Dhama, the basis. Veda, what is Veda?
Where is Veda? It is Dham Yatra Vishwam, right?
Sa Vedaitat Paramam.
No, knowledge. Okay.
Correct. Usha is answering the question. Your video is off, Usha.
Yeah, I know.
So,
There are people around.
no problem. People can also listen in. Yeah. So, Veda means knows. Veda word comes from the root vid. Vid means knowledge. Got it? So, Veda means knows. Anu, did you find the word? Savedai that paramam. So the second letter, it's the second word itself is Vedam. Yatra, on which, Vishwam, the universe, Nihitam, rests, Yat cha, which also, Shubhram, brightly, Bhati, shines. Ye akamaha. Kamaha is desires. Akamaha is those devoid of all desires. Purusham, that man of self realization. Upasate, serve or worship. Te, those. Dhiraha, wise men. Etat, this. Shukram, the seed, that is the human birth. Ativartanti, transcend. Where did we hear the word transcend last?
Transcend is going beyond.
I'm not talking about dictionary meaning. I'm asking where did we, in what context in this Mundaka Upanishad class we heard last?
Yeah, we definitely did that. In the gunas.
Huh?
The gunas.
Okay, yes. Simple. We are in this side of the world, the impure side, trapped in the Maya. Maya is the wall. The pure Atman is on the other side. And we have to transcend this wall of Maya. You're not going to be able to break it and go. Right? Okay. He knows that supreme effulgent Brahman which is the basis of all, or on whom rests the whole universe and shines brightly. Again, remember the thousand sunlight, the brightness, right? And remember the word that the Atman is the start. There is no cause before that. It's not an effect. It is the origin, right? So a person who is down that path of self-realization knows that the Atman shines very brightly and is the reason why the universe exists. So far, so good.
Yes.
Okay. The wise or the learned people, devoid of all desires, when they worship that Purusha, then they transcend the seed of birth. Why is the reference being made to the seed of birth?
Possibly they are free from the cycle of birth and rebirth. They attain moksha.
Yes, but what is the specific reference to the seed of birth all of a sudden? Mute.
That's from where everybody came.
Well, that is
The
known.
root.
That is known.
No, you can you repeat that last part? You said wise men.
Why suddenly that transcend the seed of birth? The reference is being made to the seed of birth. When you are born, you come with the baggage, right?
Yeah.
So you are caught into that entrapment of this Maya as soon as you are born.
The karma.
There you go.
Yeah, everybody is born with a karma. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So you are transcending from that position to one of self-realization. And again, here the reinforcement is when ordinary people start even worshipping people who have achieved self-realization, and if they are served properly, which is understand the whole concept of when we say Mahapariva cannot be a brand. My neighbor says Mahapariva, the people ahead of me say Mahapariva, I will also say Mahapariva. It has to come from the bottom of your heart that you truly worship that realized soul, which we call as a walking God. Even when you worship those people itself, you will transcend the rounds of birth. It's being given as another anchor points. If you say, yeah, I understood everything now, everything theoretically is known, but where do I start? How do I go? That will be the next question, right? So they are giving you that anchor point. And here, honestly speaking, the concept of guru needs to be really understood and implemented from the bottom of your heart. There are people who are confused when you keep a guru's picture and God's picture. They will say, oh no, how can you keep this man's picture here? The God's picture has to come to the front. Those who are really educated soul will say, no, the guru's picture will come to the front. God will be then, because without the guru you can't reach God.
I mean, a simple thing like when we say Shiva, you worship Shiva, okay, oh, Shiva will come. Vishnu means you're prostrating to Vishnu, you're doing your prayers to Vishnu and Brahma. But when you say Guru, they say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva.
Yes.
All three come.
Yes. So there is a concept where typically when the guru comes home, you wash the guru's feet and you do the puja to the right big toe. You collect it and you take that as a tirtham. There are people who don't do it because they will say, he's a guru and all, but how can I drink that water from cleaning his feet? Finished. That means you don't have it in you. You're just saying it for the sake of saying it. So you can get tested very easily. But if it comes really from the heart, you can understand and you will receive the benefits of it. There are times, I'm talking of 10 years ago, and I used to go to many people's home and they called me and they used to ask me to do puja. I will not name people because then Anu and all will know who that person is and all. They will not let me in directly. They will wash the feet outside. And those are the people that really believe in the whole system wholeheartedly. They are not in it for some presentation. So that commitment is required. Make sense? So these are the two important takeaway from these two mantras. Any doubt so far? Now is going to be the rapid fire session, so you have to be prepared to answer
So
them.
there is one basic doubt.
Huh.
Apart from any class, any of this shloka, khanda. So the Supreme is the one who is making us do things. So without His will, we cannot do anything. So either we do good or we do bad. It's entirely because of Him. Then how is that we do good and then we attain moksha?
Very, very. I'm so happy that you asked this question.
This has been on my mind for a long time, but
I'm very, very happy that you asked the question. I'm very happy you asked the question. Where is the God?
God is in everywhere in whatever you see.
That is all fine. Where is the God?
God is in answer.
Ah, inside, right? Inside. So how can a God inside decide what Ram should do? The whole karma system. When you say that God makes me do things, that whole understanding itself is flawed. And when people say you can't write your destiny, of course you can write your destiny. God doesn't say, "By it is fixed. Yours is 3.5 births, so after 3.5 you'll get moksha. Oh, you 5.5 births, you'll get moksha." God never does that.
But there is a saying in Tamil which they sing, right? Avan arulale avantal vanandi, means we can worship him only if he wills. So he has to will for us to worship him. So he has to make us do things, right? So entirely then it's he who is controlling us. It's not the
It
desire
is,
from within me.
it is a very small fact stretched to the point of convenience. Why are you not going to the temple? Bulawa nahi aaya. This is the most famous dialogue in 2024 election in India, right? You mean to say Ram will come to somebody's house and say, "Please, please come. I'm desperate to see you." That's absolutely, utterly false. What it means is, don't imagine God as two-handed, two-legged person somewhere sitting up there and saying, "Okay, now, Bona, now you can do this." He'll get crazy if he has to do that. He or she. There are things like, for example, if you have to worship Vayu, you have to worship Vayu. Vayu will behave the way Vayu will behave. You cannot turn that against. Varunan will behave the way Varunan behaves. You cannot go against. So you cannot go against the will of God. But God never said, "I will tell you when to worship me and please. Until then, you can watch the TV series." No. That is why the whole system of karma is, you are said, when you are born, there is a bunch of karma that you are coming with. And in your bank, there is X number of breaths, swasam, given to you. How you spend that swasam is up to you. Where you spend it is up to you. What you do with that is up to you. And you are given the same package like Ram or me or anybody. All those 5 koshas, 3 bodies, 5 pranas, everything gets the same. Nobody is getting short. People are getting physically handicapped for certain reasons, but they are not short of anything. Like somebody gets 3 pranas and we all get 5, somebody gets 7.5 because they're rich. Nothing. Are you on board with that?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you do, how you spend this is what is going to take you forward towards realization. So let's say you suddenly started realizing this a little late in your life, and you're trying to accelerate your best to say, I'll get moksha in this janmam itself. But it's like a T20 over. You fell 1 over short.
Yes.
God says, "No worries. I'll give you another chance, but that will be a very short cycle birth." So every time, even in childhood, when people used to say Alpa isla beta, I said, don't use that word Alpa isla beta. We look at death of somebody from our perspective. Oh, if that person, if my mother was there for another 50 years, she would have cooked for me and I didn't have to do anything. It's a selfish motive. If that mother left soon at a young age, that's all she needed to suffer. You must be happy that that person has attained moksha, free from this world. So please remember the difference. Yes, if you are distracted, periodically God will come and say, I'm there, I'm there. That reminder will be there, like notification and alerts. Like, for example, somebody would have told you, Bhavana, I'm going to start this class. If you want to learn, please do. If you don't get that message and latch onto it and say, no, I'm so busy with watching this TV series, I can't stop it. Maybe you won't get that opportunity again for a long time. And those systems that we follow, sampradayam that we follow, is with that theory. Like when you're doing puja, suddenly a young girl comes in and asks some question. We don't dismiss that young girl, hey, go in there. Because that young girl could be actually God coming in the form of a young girl and reminding you to do certain things. So he is there as a GPS to guide you, to say, please keep going, motivate you, everything. But God is not going to do the work for you. That is why it's.
I think what Bhuvana was also trying to get, there is a slight overlap in the sense like that question used to come to me, like people say
Mhm.
that only if you are blessed to do certain things, you will do, like, for example, attending this class or learning, getting diksha, or doing your prayers or being in satsang. Maybe as you said, the baggage which you carry of good karmas or whatever it is giving you that grace to move in that direction because certain things you have already finished. So therefore that path has been cleared for you to go, and that can be interpreted as the divinity's grace that you are getting it, is what I'm thinking.
No, I would
Same
beg to disagree with
interpretation.
that. I beg to disagree with that view for the simple reason,
Mm.
when you start getting into this path of saying that this is what I need to do, comes through education. Actually, that is one other part that I'm going to cover in the next half. Uh, so at a young age, like for example, today Vyansh is there. Vyansh is hardly 1 year, right? He doesn't eat food, or he doesn't go to sleep without listening to Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama, and Totaka. You may forget, but is it something that he knew and he started asking? No. First few times we played it for him. It resonated, he latched onto it. So that is why I said Guru is important. Guru is the person that will come and tell you, please do this, please take this class, please study this, please chant this. And nobody's going to come after you every day and set you the reminder. That advice may be a friendly advice in passing also, in a joke.
So that I agree, because
Uh,
sometimes some initial push is given to you and then you latch onto it.
exactly.
Okay,
Uh,
that part I get it. So you're
exactly.
saying that is, but I'm saying that is where the divinity is there inside, which is giving you
Yes.
Purva Janma or something.
Yes. Divinity is there in all of us when we are born. Divinity is there in all of us when we are born.
So it's a question of where people say it's a destiny and it's a free will or whatever it is. It's
Yeah,
something
there are many people who say, I don't have an opportunity to do this, so I didn't do it. They will never progress, whether it be work or whether it be anything.
Okay.
And we can get into the debate of that, how that mind plays. Once let us anchor this explanation today. We will revisit, remind me when we come back to this again.
Okay.
Right? So today, again, we'll go into the rapid fire session. What is gross body? In the form of koshas.
Sthula Sharira.
That is another term for gross body, but in the terms of sheath, the koshas, what is gross body? Annamaya kosha. So all the 5 organs of perceptions, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, and the 5 organs of action, hands, legs, speech, genital organ, and anus, through which individual contacts the objects, gathers stimuli for the experience of joys and sorrows, and interacts with the world. Go back to the process that I've explained. 5 organs, it continuously creates impressions in your mind. Then the intellect keeps reading it, converts it into a video. When the I, ahankara, attaches, it becomes your personal experience, right? So that's how you interact with the external world. So when the pure consciousness, Atman, identifies with the gross body, you start identifying with the gross body, it manifests as the waker. Waker means the person who is awake, like what we are now. And for this whole process to work, that impressions, storage in chitta, you have to be awake. So far, so good? Okay. So when you are awake, you experience the awakened world, and it is a pluralistic world where you start talking of Jivatma, Paramatma. I am somebody, God, that somebody else will come and tell me. This is what we live naturally. The next is, what is subtle body? The subtle body consists of the vital air, which is the prana, the mental and the intellectual sheaths. They all together form the subtle body. The vital air, the prana, governs the physiological functions of the body, like digestion, breathing, blood circulation, and so on. Are you able to correlate with what you have been taught?
Pranamaya kosha.
The kosha is pranamaya kosha. Agreed. But the vital air or the prana governs the physiological functions of the body, like digestion,
Yeah.
like breathing. Do you remember?
Involuntary.
Prana, vyana, samana, udana.
Udana Sutya.
So one prana is responsible for pushing down, which is why the digested food and the filtered liquid comes out as urine and excreta. Think of it. Have you ever, after eating food, you set a timer that after half an hour I'm going to tap my belly and press it for the excretion to happen? None of that waits for you, right? It's a very automatic process, right? Same way, as soon as we eat food, there is all those acids being poured into it to attack it and digest it. Who guides? What is the software or the program that says, okay, take this, what you need, and remaining stuff is all excretion? Likewise, you are breathing. There is no conscious effort. No, now I have to breathe. Correct? So this is going up, one going down, one is digestion, and one is all pervasive, responsible for the blood circulation within the body. So the mind and intellect are only thoughts, they are not physical organs. கரெக்டா? ரொம்ப சீரியஸ் ஆகிட்டு இல்லை எல்லாம், எனக்கே கொஞ்சம் தூக்கம் வந்துடும். As such, the medicine that I'm having, it's having its own impact of sluggishness. 2 days ago, the class I'm trying to teach chapter 12, and I'm looking at chapter 10, and I'm arguing with these people that you are having a wrong script. So, mind and intellect are only thoughts, they are not organs. And there are functional differences in these thoughts. They work slightly differently. So, what are the 4 aspects of the mind? Mind, manas, intellect, buddhi, memory, chitta, ego, ahankara, right?
Yeah.
So these 4 factors that constitute the subtle body are the inner equipment. Antah karana, which is what Sri Sadguru is minting money on. Inner engineering. Using the term engineering from here. Got it? So you work on the Antakarna. The outer equipment consists of the 5 organs of perceptions and 5 organs of action, which we said is in the gross body. So these 4 divisions of the inner equipment in the subtle body are purely functional. They are not organs. Okay. So when the conditioned consciousness means the pure consciousness is conditioned by the Maya. The conditioned consciousness withdraws from the gross body, and identifies with the subtle body.
Mhm.
It manifests as the dreamer.
Okay.
So, can you sleep by keeping your eyes and ears open?
Mhm.
As long as you keep it open and functional, that photo clicking is continuously on. Recording process is on. You lie down, close your eyes, you're actually transitioning from the gross to the subtle body. That is the process of Jagrat, Swapna. You move from the gross body to the subtle body. So far, so good?
Yes.
Very simple to understand?
Yes.
Okay. Then கொஞ்சம் ஆன்சர் பண்ணுங்க, otherwise நான் தூங்கிடுவேன்.
Yes. Yes.
Normally Usha is like this, but I think she's multitasking. So you experience the dream world in the when your conditioned consciousness is relating with the subtle body. Okay. Now the 4 types of mind. This is a very interesting and the simplistic definition that I loved, which is what I wanted to share with you. In an experience, what happens is the first impact of the stimuli from the external world reaches through one of the organs of perception. What does it do? Take a break, think about it, understand what it does, because most of us don't take it very seriously.
Can you come again with the question?
Yeah. In an experience, the first impact of the stimuli from the external world reaches through one of the organs of perception. Either you hear a sound, loud sound, or you see a big flash of light, flame. Correct? Any one of the experience. What it does is it causes a disturbance in the thought.
Yes.
Instant.
Yes.
And it leads to restlessness and indecision within. This is a standard rule for everybody. Anybody who says no, you don't have to believe it.
Yeah, how you react may be different, but yes, it will cause a disturbance for anyone who gets what you're saying.
How you react will be different is depending on how far you have progressed on the path
Yes,
towards self.
Yes.
And that is where, when you ask that question again and again, how do I go in this path? I'm still not clear. This is what I'm saying. That is how you start. I'll give simple example. And if this doesn't help you, then I have to find out some other method of explaining to you.
Okay.
I can look at somebody like I'm based on my view, the frame. I'm seeing somebody is killing somebody. I come to conclusion, oh, this is a murderer, that is a victim. Because I'm looking at it from distance. I don't know anything else. That's all I've seen. Now, either you can say, I have seen that this guy is a murderer. End of story. You keep latching onto it forever. Or you become a slightly more matured individual. You say, yeah, of course I saw him killing, but I don't know the full story. Maybe behind that person was somebody else whom that other person was attacking, and this person had no choice but to kill and defend the potential victim. So the person who got killed could have been the aggressor. The day you are able to think like that, you're moving in the right direction. I've given you other example of 6 and 9. That is one way of thinking.
Yes.
In Tamil, they say, நான் சொன்னதுக்கு தான் final. நான் நினச்சது தான் final வேத வாக்கு. It's whatever I think and what I know is final. You need to come out of that and start accepting possibilities. When you start conditioning your mind that way, for this, there is no special external person that can come and train you. like, okay, dumbbells, you hold it like this and you do dumbbells, you will build your muscles. No, this you have to do it yourself. When you start conditioning it, next time when you see something, automatically it will be a measured response. And as you gain through this path, automatically you will become a very calm person, not a person that will go hyper at the drop of a hat. But you will do only when you realize, oh, I'm reacting too hard. Or sometimes some people say, you use some term and they fly off. How dare you say that? And they'll drop everything in life. A 50-year-old relationship, they will do everything and fight and break the whole thing and go. Maybe they could have given 5 more minutes to the other person. If the person had completed the sentence, it would not have had that impact. Contextually, if you see, it would not have that impact. That conditioning of the mind is what is going to take you down this path. Am I giving specific examples?
We have seen such examples in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but have you embraced it? Have you embraced it?
No, example of this 50-year relation getting cut away in just somebody talking a few words.
Yeah.
We have seen that happening to friends.
So I'm saying, don't worry about the other people. You worry about yourself, how you are reacting.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the first aspect. So the indecision or doubt is created by the first impact. The intellect, after the first impact is over, the disturbance dies down. You next time it happens, you see, it'll be funny to know, oh man, this man taught me the right thing. The disturbance dies down and there is a sense of eerie silence. You don't know what is going on. Your mind is so calm.
Based on your progress, as you
That rush of blood is all settled, you're calm, and you don't know what is going on. It's absolutely blank, eerie silence. So
it carries on also. It's hard to.
no, it doesn't stop there. So in this phase, it is your intellect that is at work. If the intellect is something that you've never activated from childhood, you will not see this phase. You will move from the first phase to the third phase because intellect is dumb, not acting. Even if you have an element of intellect, it will work. So the clue to progressing in this phase in a nice way is to increase your intellect. We'll come to how you do that a little later. Understand, this is the second process. The third part of the mind is the chitta, memory. For the intellect to come to a condition of decision, for what happened is right, what are my duties, what am I supposed to do, not do. When you process it, you're actually running an algorithm. 1,000 questions are asked in your mind. What do I do with this? Now I've seen it. Should I ignore, move on with life? Should I get excited? Should I feel sorrow, depression, excitement? That decision making process is done with the help of chitta, memory. What do you need for that? Yes, the algorithm is there. The processing, the query processing queries are there. But what is the key element here for this function to happen? Let me see if you're able to answer. IT people should be able to answer it very quickly.
You need 5 senses.
For the algorithm to function, for you to give a decision making point, this is the decision. You need data.
You need data and basically whatever
the senses are collecting data, right?
That is, collecting is different. The algorithm will be running not on collecting data. Collected data is where it will put the query on. You got it?
Data experiences are already there, so you're saying the algorithm goes on that. Based on that experience,
Correct.
you will make a decision.
Correct.
So that's how you will develop bias and other things.
Correct.
I think, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
If your experiences are all bad, it has never been purified. If your thought process is all bad, you look at everything as a half empty glass all the time. You'll keep going down the drain. So the data is important. That is why I tell people, ignore all the negative stuff. move away from it, stay with the positive experiences, find a positive experience or information out of every incident. If you keep your eyes and ears open, only then you can see it. For example, my own meeting, now it has got postponed. Hours and hours of work. You have no idea how many hours we have put in. Some people were totally upset. I have tuned myself that I don't take it to extremes, extreme happiness or extreme sorrow. I take a step back and say, whatever happens, happens for the good. Let's figure out. So when you do that, you're already conditioning the step number 2 or the step number 1, the impact of that hitting you very hard. And when you look for the positive experiences and store only that positive experience in your database, your algorithm will return good ways of coming out or dealing with situations. If all you keep is dvesham, klesham, and I will teach a lesson to that person, blah, 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 your brain will continue to work in the direction. So good experiences makes a difference. So now the choice is, out of any experience, do you want to focus on the bad or on the good? Because now you know that it decides and dictates your behavior in the next step. Choice is yours. And that is why I say it's not God sitting there and controlling all this each step of the way. It's all in your hand. And you are able to make those corrections because you're gaining that knowledge. Let us put it for today's session from me, or you have learned it from some other Pandit. And that is why I said Guru is important. Minus the Guru, all this information is out there. Somebody has to translate that to you in a meaning that you will understand it very easily. Right? Good. So, what is the fourth one now? Ahankara. Ego.
Ego.
A doubt, a decision, and a memory will be related to each other only if they belong to a single individual. When all of them reside in a person, one is aware that the doubt, the decisions, and the memory belong to that same person. அதுதான் நான் சொன்னேன் உங்களுக்கு. உங்க ஹார்ட்ல இருந்துட்டு how that God can decide for Ram. And then if you get into the theory, his God is different, my God is different, then you are completely challenging all the 3 schools of Vedanta. மேலேருந்து ஆதிசங்கரா எல்லாரும் மாத்வாச்சாரியா எல்லாரும் கீழே இறங்கி வந்துருவோம். என்ன போனா என்ன கன்ஃபியூஸ் கிரியேட் பண்றேன் அப்படின்னு. ரைட்? அது சிம்பிளா நீங்க புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. That moment we say you're going with a pluralistic mind. Me, I am different and God is different. The whole Mundaka Upanishat அதுதானே. கரெக்டா? தப்பி தவிர நீங்க எங்களை டெஸ்ட் பண்ணிடலாம் என்னன்னு தெரியாது. நான் எஸ்ன்னு சொல்லியிருந்தேன்னா அவ்வளோதான், நான் மாட்டிருந்திருப்பேன். Am I giving a clear answer?
Yes.
You start like that. When you're ignorant, you start like that because you see that as different. You're taught Jivatma, Paramatma, and you are different. God is different. God is sitting on the cloud. As you come through this phase of knowledge and education, you're going to narrow that gap and start to believe. This whole Mundaka Upanishad is all about believing that God is within you. And you're trying to realize that it is within you.
We were small, we were told God is within you, but I think that time it doesn't sink in.
No, because the same Patima is also telling you, God is in the temple. You have to go and do the Anga Pradashanam in the temple. So how will you deal with both? It's not their fault. I mean, not everybody can be educated enough to go to this level, right?
I think even to absorb that, I think that you need a certain age or a certain set of experience.
Not necessary. I'll beg to differ on that.
I'm just asking.
Why I'm saying it is, you people learn Vedam at the age of 7. So,
7-year-olds do understand that within they are whatever.
If taught, yes. Okay. Actually, your learning of vocabulary is the highest in the first 2 years.
Actually, yes, that is true.
You learn at nearly 40 to 60,000 words per year.
5 years are very, very.
Exactly.
The first 5 years, you get a lot of.
Yeah, what you're talking of is very advanced motor skills. Advanced complex algorithms. That takes time. But basic brain is already developed, right? So this concept of possessiveness, when it goes, that I goes, is when all of us will see the same common thing. That all of us will agree, there is the pure Atman, and we are heading in that direction. Okay? So the pure consciousness is all pervading. We know it. It's all pervading body, mind, and intellect. So in the moon word, now when you're conditioning, right, more than your physical body, you start looking at the body, mind, intellect, BMI. Instead of saying the BMI, body mass index, I think you should remember body, mind, and intellect. And in every conversation, I'm harping on this aspect that when we are looking at each other, we need to be able to get over and beyond that physical appearance. We are trained to say, okay, look at him, oh, he's like this, so he's a man. Look at her, she's a woman. That's all we are focused on. So you start dismissing that, get into these layers and five, like a skeletal body, and focus on that. And understand that we are all energy centers. The world will change. Lot will change. Okay. So now the conditioning and unconditioning part of it, when we say that the Atman is pure, but it gets conditioned by the Maya. Another good example, very simple layman example I like. You have sunlight, right? Most of you will know what sunlight looks like. But you are sitting in a room in which the sunlight comes in, but the walls are all painted very black, pitch black. How will that light be seen to you? Much darker.
It will not illuminate the room as much as it does otherwise.
Yeah, the black wall will condition that sunlight into a dark light. Let's say you paint it orange, dark orange. It will brighten.
Yeah, yes.
But will it be the same as the sunlight?
No.
So imagine these walls are the Maya. And the sun is there. Sun is there. So imagine the sun is the Atman. Atman is where it is. Bright, pure, shining, always there. But depending on which room you are, which room's walls are painted how, you will see that same light conditioned in a different way. Now break the wall.
So the wall is our body.
Wall is Maya. Maya. The conditioning effect புரிய வைக்கிறதுக்கு example. Right? So you break the wall, all of us will see the same color.
Yes.
Until then, each one of us will have our own perception of what color is there. If somebody says, what is sunlight's color? Dark. So what is sunlight's color? It is all brighter. இதோட simple example கொடுக்க முடியாது. So remember these 2-3 simple examples that will help you understand these concepts much better. So now the intellect is transcended through which path? இதுக்கு தான் வந்து ஆதிசங்கராச்சாரியாரோட இந்த டெம்ப்ளேட் நான் ஷேர் பண்ணியிருந்தேன் இந்த பிகினிங் ஆஃப் த கிளாஸ். சாதனா பஞ்சகம்லேருந்து. இந்த கிளாஸுக்கு அப்புறம் அது மறந்து போயிட்டெல்லாம் ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது. That's a fantastic explanation he had given. At what age, which path we will embrace and how much of importance we will give. So intellect is transcended through Jnana Yoga. So you need to attend classes, you need to read books, you need to listen to people, learned people, and acquire that knowledge consistently. That is the only way.
Basically,
that's the only way you can transcend the intellect. The next is you have to transcend the ego. Let me see if you're able to answer this. Karma Yoga. There's somebody very prominent in the election, Indian election. I don't want to take a name, but it's easy to understand. At 52 years, I need to be the king. No karma. You attach a fake name, then you're entitled for that. Versus somebody who believes in the shramam na cholra illaya, that effort, that karma or action is important for transcending the ego, the ahankara. So when the mind, intellect, and the ego are sublimated, all of them are transcended, and they are made up of the same substance or thoughts. What then remains is pure consciousness. So in the causal body, what happens is it is in the state of non-apprehension. In this state, we know neither the higher reality, the satya, or we are away from the plurality, the mithya, which is utter ignorance. So when the pure consciousness withdraws from the gross body and the subtle bodies and identifies with the causal body, it manifests as a deep sleeper. So you started with the waking state, the dream state, now you are in the deep sleep state. And in that state, you go through experience of nothingness. That is the experience when one is fast asleep without disturbed even by dreams. Make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So simple process explain பண்ணியாச்சு. என்னென்ன components எதால affect ஆகுது, எப்படி trigger ஆகுது. Now you cannot ask that question. இப்போ சொல்லுங்க எனக்கு மோட்சத்துக்கு வழி சொல்லுங்க. Literally, you take this seriously, you start implementing it in a very small fashion in everyday aspect of your life. It will make a huge difference. சின்ன சின்ன இதில் நீங்கள் அப்ளை பண்ணுறதுக்கு you must have the guts. If you're still vacillating, it means you're stuck in these 4 parts. So either you have to increase your knowledge, or you'll have to do work to reduce your ego, or you're thinking too much. You're not letting yourself go into the dream and deep sleep state. Any one of this can make you go round and round and round. Make sense? இப்போ கொஞ்சம் பூனா ரொம்ப சீரியஸ் ஆகிட்டாங்க. ஐயோ இவரெல்லாம் கமிட்மெண்ட் வாங்க போகிறாரு.
You know, it's not this question is there even before you started this class.
Did I answer your question today clearly, or you need more explanation?
But you did answer. I'm going to go through your video and
சரி.
Yeah, yeah.